Subject exited the vehicle, went into the back seat, grabbed an American flag, and threw it over the gate. Subject then took off on foot and has still yet to be apprehended.
The FBI also released a photo from surveillance video. An investigation underway into the hanging death of a college student. The Mississippi Bureau of Investigations, in a statement to ABC News, says it's only assisting in this investigation of the Delta State University student and not involved in another investigation of a man found in Vicksburg the same day. Here's ABC's Ike Ajachi.
They're saying through a preliminary examination that there are no injuries to 21-year-old Trey Ree's body that are consistent to a physical attack. So that they said that there are no lacerations, no bruises, no broken bones, anything that would look like there was a physical attack to his body. Now, the coroner's office is saying that they are investigating this as a suicide, and they're also saying that the full autopsy is currently being done by the Mississippi State Crime Lab.
Tropical storm Gabrielle has formed in the Atlantic today. It's expected to remain over open waters this week. So far, no coastal advisories are posted. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
This is the Newsradio KONP Noon Report.
Todd Orth live from the KONP News Center. Here's a look at what's happening on this Wednesday, September 17th. Well, we've got some more details on Monday's law enforcement activity near the corner of Columbia and Jones Streets in Port Angeles. Deputy Police Chief Jason Vieta with the latest.
On Monday, September 15th at about 8:30 a.m., investigators served a search warrant in the 1200 block of East Columbia Street in Port Angeles relating to a continued missing person investigation with the assistance of the Washington State Attorney General's Missing and Murdered Indigenous People Cold Case Unit and the Washington State Patrol Crime Lab. Investigators continued to pursue leads and conduct interviews relating to the disappearance of Marley Zimmerman. If anyone has information relating to Zimmerman's disappearance, please call the Port Angeles Police Department at 360-452-4545.
Now, as we reported back in January, the family of 27-year-old Marley Zimmerman of Port Angeles said she had been missing since January 20th. According to her sister Zoe, Marley left her home at about 2 a.m. that morning and was captured on the house's security cameras. She was wearing all black clothing and carrying a light green or tan backpack. Marley's phone had been turned off since her disappearance, which her sister said was very unlike her. Because it's an open investigation, police are not saying whether there has been a break in this case or if any new information was collected during this week's search. Vieta said investigators were on the scene at the Columbia Street all day Monday and until about 2 p.m. yesterday. Well, the North Olympic Peninsula got its first real taste of wildfire smoke this season this week, and residents started noticing it really in a big way yesterday afternoon as heavy smoke drifted into the area and ash fell from the sky in some spots. Now, the haze not coming from any new local fires, but from shifting winds that carried smoke in from two major wildfires that are burning elsewhere on the peninsula. The Bear Gulch fire near Lake Cushman in Mason County, it's grown up to 10,000 acres and is 9% contained. And then further north, the Tunnel Creek fire is burning in remote terrain west of Quilcene in the Buckhorn Wilderness. Sparked by lightning, it has now charred close to 300 acres and is uncontained. The combination of those fires, along with the wind shift, has lowered air quality across Clallam County. Meteorologists say another change, though, in the wind direction is expected, and that could bring some relief soon. Looking ahead, forecasters also expect the Northwest rainy season to kick in next week. And on that, the Northwest could finally start seeing its wet season begin by midweek next week. Forecasters say there's a strong chance of above normal rainfall moving in beginning about the middle of next week. The latest outlook from the National Weather Service points to a 60% chance of wetter than usual conditions across much of the region, and the odds actually climbing to near 70% along the coast. Meteorologists say the pattern shift will help bring relief from the dry summer weather and improve that air quality and help with those wildfires. More news after this.
One is overwhelming. Your mind and your heart shut down. That's where Drennan and Ford Funeral Home and Crematory comes in. They took the burden off my family's shoulders and guided us through everything we needed to do. No pushy sales tactics or unanswered questions. They just held our hands and took care of everything we asked. That's why I will always recommend Drennan & Ford for end-of-life decisions. They handle the hurt like no one else can. Call 360-457-1210.
Time keeps rolling along, and September is the month we roll out of summer and into fall. This is Dale from Wilder Auto, and this month is a great time to get your car serviced for the months ahead. We offer competitive prices on all of our service options, and the Wilder Advantage includes a staff of factory-trained technicians, free safety inspection with any service, and free car wash. We'd love to keep you rolling, so give us a call to schedule your next service visit or schedule online 24/7 at wilderauto.com.
Bring your kids to the Next Door Gastropub.
We already know that adults have been loving Next Door Gastropub for over 13 years, but the kids love it too.
My favorite thing is the cheeseburger and fries. My favorite thing is grilled cheese and fries. But everything is good.
You'll feel the good vibes the moment you walk in, and your mouth will do a happy dance from the very first bite you take, because
we got the best beef in town.
Bring your kids down to the Next Door Gastropub in downtown Port Angeles.
We're open every day at 11, and we close at 10.
In other news, plans for what was once billed as the largest biochar cogeneration facility in North America appear to be on hold. In 2023, Mino Carbon Corporation announced its intent to build a large-scale carbon removal facility on Industrial Parkway in Port Angeles, that in partnership with Herman Brothers Logging. The facility was designed to convert timber slash and other byproducts into biochar, a carbon-rich soil additive, through a superheating process. At the time, Mino CEO Tor Kallestad projected completion and operation by early 2027. The company's plans relied heavily on a $20.5 million USDA grant that was awarded in October of 2024 through the Biden administration's Partnerships for Climate Smart Commodities program. But in April, the Trump administration canceled the entire $3 billion program, calling it wasteful and mismanaged. Well, last month, the federal judge issued a preliminary injunction ordering the USDA to reinstate grants for some farmers and community groups that had challenged the cancellation. The lawsuit, filed by Earth Justice and some other advocacy organizations, argued the agency lacked the legal authority to terminate the funding. Now, it remains unclear whether Mino Carbon's grant and that Port Angeles facility that would go with it will be restored under this new ruling. Kallestad from Mino has not responded to our requests for comment. Mount St. Helens appeared to spring back to life yesterday, but officials confirmed the volcano is not erupting. Strong easterly winds stirred up ash from the 1980 eruption, creating a visible plume that raised concerns across Washington and northern Oregon. Webcams captured ash swirling around the crater, but the U.S. Geological Survey said the volcano remains at normal activity levels with no changes to alert status or any aviation warnings. Winds of up to 50 miles per hour combined with recent dry conditions lifted the decades-old ash. The area has received less than 25% of its average rainfall over the past month. Officials say the phenomenon occasionally occurs during dry, windy weather and is not linked to any new volcanic activity. Still, they warned that airborne ash does pose health and aviation risks. Well, this Saturday, hundreds of thousands of volunteers will be gathering to help clean up beaches all over the world, including here in Washington State, as part of International Coastal Cleanup. Isabel Charlet has more.
Since 1986, the cleanup has mobilized 18 million volunteers to gather more than 380 million pounds of trash from the world's beaches. Liz Scottman is with Surfrider Foundation, an organization that leads cleanups in Washington. She's the first to admit we're not going to clean our way out of the plastic pollution problem, but adds beach cleanups are a helpful step.
They remove harmful waste from the beach, so you're saving seals and seagulls and other marine animals that can get entangled or ingest it and get really sick from it. It also prevents all that plastic debris from breaking down into microplastics.
International Coastal Cleanup was founded by the Ocean Conservancy. To join a beach cleanup this Saturday or on other days, people can visit coastsavers.org. I'm Isabel Charlet.
This is Newsradio KONP.
Hello, folks. This is Jimmy Hoffman, inviting you out for a great time at the Port Angeles Masonic Temple. The Jimmy Hoffman Band, 5-piece ensemble, will deliver the best in country rock to the dance floor. Some people call me the Space Cowboy.
Don't miss the Jimmy Hoffman Band, Saturday, September 27th at the Port Angeles Masonic Lodge. This special event is a fundraiser for the Masonic Temple Building Fund. The historic Masonic building is a true gem in the community. Let's come together for a whole lot of fun and dancing to support the Masonic Building Fund. This big event is Saturday night, September 27th at the Port Angeles Masonic Lodge. Bring all your friends. There'll be tasty food, wine, ice-cold beer to make a great end-of-summer celebration, and a helping hand to the Masonic Lodge. This is sure to be a fun time, September 27th at the PA Masonic Temple with the Jimmy Hoffman Band.
Hope to see you there.
In 1983, Tom and Ida McEwen opened All Weather Heating and Cooling. Their vision for a family-owned and operated business with personalized customer service made them the #1 choice for all your heating and cooling needs. By 2014, it was time to pass down the business, and daughter Janae and her business partner Dustin Halverson purchased All Weather. In preserving Tom and Ida's vision, customer service is still their #1 priority. All Weather Heating and Cooling, because everyone calls us.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Daytime highs approaching 65 this afternoon under mainly clear skies. Winds out the west 10 to 15 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 50 tonight, partly cloudy skies. Daytime highs approaching 62 tomorrow. Ample sunshine expected. Daytime highs approaching 65 Friday under mainly clear skies. 62 Saturday, rain likely. Take a look at the extended forecast. 61 Sunday, 62 Monday, and 60 on Tuesday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, 66.
At least 2 series will go the distance. Good morning, I'm Jay Reynolds. Fever and Storm with Game 2 wins at home last night. Indiana, a 17-point statement win over the Atlanta Dream for their first playoff win since 2015. They'll play Game 7 tomorrow in Atlanta, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN2. That Game 3 will be followed by a Game 3 for the Aces and Storm. Seattle rallying from down 14 for an 86-83 win last night, snapping the Aces' 17-game win streak. Las Vegas coach Becky Hammond wasn't thrilled with her defense.
We guarded poorly at the three-point line. Our hands are down. We were not disruptive. We weren't even guarding. They were shooting. We were 8 feet off of them. No, it's trash, garbage at the three-point line.
Seattle outscoring the Aces 23-8 over the final 7 minutes en route to the win. Tonight, Game 2 for the Mercury and Liberty and for the Lynx and Valkyries. Baseball. What a night for the Mariners.
Home run, Cal Raleigh.
It's numbers 55 and 56 last night and ties Griffey's record. Dom Canzone hits 3 for Seattle as well. They beat the Royals 12-5 and maintain their lead in the division. Houston beats Texas 6-5, stays within a half game in the AL West. Shohei Ohtani hits number 50 and throws 5 innings of no-hit ball, but the Dodgers ultimately fall to the Phillies 9-6. LA still up 2 in the NL West. Padres fall to the Mets 8-3. Mets hold the 3rd wild card spot in the National League, game and a half ahead of Arizona. Diamondbacks walk off the Giants 6-5 last night. Blue Jays have won 6 straight. They beat the Rays 6-5. Yankees are 5 behind in the division. New York hanging on for a 10-9 win over the Twins. They still lead the American League wild card.
In local sports, the Bainbridge Spartans powerhouse soccer team came to town last night and, is often the case, left with a dominant 4-0 win. Bainbridge has now beaten the Port Angeles Rough Riders 7 straight times by a combined score of 26-2. The Spartans showed why. Their spacing and passing looked polished, almost like a college squad last night. Port Angeles trailed just 1-0 at halftime, but Bainbridge put the match out of reach with 3 more goals in the second half. The Riders will try to regroup Thursday night at Olympic. Squim, meanwhile, rolled past North Mason 6-0. The Wolves jumped out early with 4 goals in the first 14 minutes. Sasha Yata scored just 2 minutes in off a Kylie Winter assist. 3 minutes later, Kaya Robinson added another on a feed from Olive Bridge. Ramey Brewer scored twice in quick succession to make it 4-0. Before halftime, Ruby Horgan finished on a Brewer assist, and in the second half, Lily Sparks buried a penalty kick to cap the scoring. Goalkeeper Lillian Anderson recorded the shutout. The Wolves now get their shot at Bainbridge on Thursday. In high school volleyball, Bainbridge swept Port Angeles in 3 sets, while Squim beat North Mason 3-1. Today in swimming, Sally Cole's Rough Riders host La Jolla at 3 p.m. Squim will travel to Olympic for a 3:30 start. And now more on the Mariners as catcher Cal Raleigh continued his historic power surge Tuesday night, launching a couple of home runs that tied and broke records.
Swung on and blasted. Right field. History on its way. It is gone. Cal Raleigh, crown him number 55 for Cal.
That 55th homer of the year, a 419-foot shot from the left side in the third inning, pushed Seattle up 4-0 over the Kansas City Royals and broke Mickey Mantle's 1961 record for most home runs in a season by a switch hitter. Then 1 inning later,
Swung on, hit well, center field. It's going back at the warning track, at the wall. He has done it! Home run, Cal Raleigh. He has tied Ken Griffey Jr. for the most in Seattle Mariners history. Number 56 for Cal Raleigh.
Yeah, Raleigh went to the right side and crushed number 56. That tied Ken Griffey Jr.'s Mariners record set in 1997 and matched in 1998. Mariners have now won 10 games in a row. They'll play again with Kansas City. We take the air at 3:30 this afternoon.
This is Ed from Leeds Farm Supply and Equipment Sales. Our family has trucked hay to feed the hungry animals in Western Washington for 4 generations. In that time, we have built a growing legacy of serving the needs of our customers, and we've never stopped. In 2014, we ventured into the equipment world by becoming a dealer and service provider for Mahindra Tractors. Since then, we have partnered with quality brands such as Bad Boy, Aaron's Gravely, LS Tractor, Husqvarna, Snake River Trailers, and now Wacker Noyson Construction Equipment. We have a 3-bay shop where we not only service the brands we sell, but we also work on most major brands including Kubota, John Deere, and New Holland. We carry a wide variety of parts, filters, belts, and fluids. We have a fully stocked hydraulic shop and can build hoses for most machines while you wait. Chainsaw or weed eater needs some TLC, we work on small engines too. We even offer welding and fabrication services. We have been earning the Peninsula's trust for over 25 years with your animal's care. We look forward to earning your trust with your equipment's care too.
Newsradio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Expressing concerns about the labor market, Federal Reserve officials lowered their benchmark interest rate today by a 0.25 percentage point. They're projecting 2 more rate cuts before the end of the year. Markets are split. The Dow is up 0.3%, but the S&P is down 0.3%. The Nasdaq is down 0.5%. Personal credit scores are falling at the fastest rate since the global financial crisis of 2009. The average FICO score fell to 715 in April from 717 a year earlier. The credit scoring agency attributes the drop to higher rates of utilization and delinquencies. The National Toy Hall of Fame is looking for new inductees and says it's narrowed the choices down to 12. One of the unusual finalists is Snow. Along with Battleship, Connect 4, Spirograph, and Trivial Pursuit, there's also Tickle Me Elmo and Furby. You'll have until next Wednesday to vote for your favorite. I'm Nancy Lyons, Bloomberg Radio.
Let's check the roads next.
Save big right now at Angela's Furniture. And when I say big, I mean truckload big. The Serta Truckload Sale is going on now. Check out a Serta Perfect Sleeper Blue Lagoon Firm Queen for only $679. Upgrade to a Serta iComfort Aspire Medium Queen for only $19.99. And take it a step further with a new adjustable bed base. A queen size starts at only $599. And right now, get 0% financing for 12 months OAC. See the Serta experts today, only at Angela's Furniture.
When I bought my home, I knew the big thing I wanted was adding carpet to my bedroom and living room so my tootsies weren't cold in the winter. Cue the angel sounds and the Macquarie Carpet One Customer Appreciation Sale. I had Bill measure the house. I then picked out the fanciest carpet. What can I say? I have great taste. And on the day of the sale, I knew exactly what I needed. Now it's your turn. Call 360-457-7500 and get pre-measured for the Macquarie Carpet One Customer Appreciation Sale, September 18th.
Newsradio KONP. Traffic and roads.
All right, not a lot to tell you about out there, just a little bit of volume as we normally get at noontime. Otherwise, traffic is moving pretty smoothly. No major incidents, track affecting things. Clear conditions everywhere as well. Highway 101 between PA and Squim is clear with normal flow. The main corridor connecting both cities, smooth. No problems there. Downtown PA, pretty smooth as well. Front Street has good flow. First Street moving well through the business district. Lincoln Street has a little light volume, but nothing really to tie you up. And Ray Street is running pretty well as well. And 8th Street is also good. In Squim, conditions equally good. Washington Street downtown clear. Squim Avenue's handling traffic efficiently. And over 3rd Avenue, just some light volume as well. Regionally on the highways, west to Forks, normal speeds. The only issue is getting out to or into Port Angeles. Of course, that Highway 101 closure at Tumwater Creek there. So you'll have to use the Tumwater truck route as a bypass for the next 10 days or so. Highway 112 out to Neah Bay is all clear. clear as well, and no problems heading into the Hood Canal Bridge, where it is open for traffic, and ferries right now are running on time as well. Forecast today, sunny, highs in the upper 60s to maybe about 70. Going to be partly cloudy tonight, lows near 50. Another sunny day on the way for Thursday with your highs in the 60s. Currently, we've got 66 in Port Townsend. It's also 66 in Sequim. And 66 here in Port Angeles out at Fairchild Airport.
ABC Entertainment News.
Maybe this is an opportunity to make it right.
Season 4 of The Morning Show premieres today on Apple TV+. Star Mark Duplass tells ABC Audio this season delves into a controversial new technology.
We're experiencing an incredible amount of anxiety about what's real and what's not with the advent of AI into the news world.
Or, as his co-star Billy Crudup puts it,
it's all being disrupted and we're all having nervous breakdowns.
Rapper Cardi B has announced she's going on tour early next year. It's called the Little Miss Drama Tour and is set to kick off in February, running through April. Cardi B's second studio album, Am I the Drama, comes out this Friday.
Clear eyes, full hearts.
Let's go! And you may know him as Coach Taylor from Friday Night Lights. Happy birthday to Kyle Chandler, who turns 60 today. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
Well, if you took the family to a theme or amusement park this year, you contributed to what will be a $35 billion year for the industry. The Golden Ticket Awards were handed out this month, recognizing the best of the best in 22 categories in theme and amusement parks. 2025 saw a big winner during the evening, Universal Orlando Resort. Its new Universal Epic Universe Park walked away with 4 wins. The best new roller coaster for its Stardust Racers, best new attraction installation for Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry, best new theme concept, and best dark ride. Those latter 2 categories centered around the park's Dark Universe area and its anchor attraction, Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein Experiment. The resort's water park, Volcano Bay, also made a major upset by unseating a 26-year winner in Best Water Park. Dollywood was also a big winner, taking home 3 awards, Best Guest Experience, Best Kids Area, and Best Family Coaster.
A better life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
When's the last time you felt in awe of something? Felt good, right? The only thing better is probably seeing your kid experience it and the look that flashes across their face. Author Deborah Farmer-Criss is out with a new book called Raising Awe Seekers, How the Science of Wonder Helps Our Kids Thrive. She calls awe an emotional superfood, citing science that shows wonder supports our mental, physical, and emotional well-being. Awe prompts us to be kinder and humbler. It quiets mental chatter. It increases curiosity, helps us feel more connected to other people. It has even been found to reduce biomarkers of stress and inflammation. Now, if you want to help your kid experience this incredible feeling, really think about what lights them up and then lean into it. It'll be worth the time, the money, and the effort. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Here's the tale of the daily Medfill. Same old pharmacy, same old bill, but those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings wrangler rode in, cool as can be. Tap Good RX, saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. The deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang. That one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check Good RX. Good RX is not insurance.
Lowe's knows how to get you ready for holiday hosting with up to 35% off select home decor. And get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, members get free delivery, haul away, basic installation, parts, and a 2-year Lowe's protection plan when you spend $2,500 or more on select LG major appliances. Valid through 10/1. Member offer excludes Massachusetts, Maryland, Wisconsin, New Jersey, and Florida. Installed by independent contractors. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Hello, I'm Jerry Stewart, and this is One Moment in America. It was 1970 when I was first exposed to computers. We were told that with computers, the world would be a better place. I'll tell you one story after this important message.
Hello, Jerry Stewart here. Question, what are you, an American or an Americant?
You might be saying, what's the difference? Glad you asked. An American is someone who sees a problem in our nation, and rather than running from the problem, you stay. And you say, I can fix the problem. And you do, helping to make our great America even greater. And an American't? Pretty simple, pretty sad. You say, there's a problem. You don't have a solution. You don't even try to make a solution. And that is being an Americant. And we don't need any more Americants, but more Americans. Do yourself a big favor. Go to our website at www.jerrystewartusa.com and join our American Club by subscribing. And when you do, we'll send you an official American certificate to hang up and show to all that you're an American. So go to www.jerrystewartusa.com and join now. See you there. In 1970, when I first began using computers, they were anything but friendly or personal. You'd punch your data onto a group of cards, give them to the operator, who'd take them into a mysterious back room and return with a final report you could hardly understand. Things are certainly way different today, but my read on how computers have affected us, at least for me, now that my computer helps me to work faster, I've taken on more work, and I still put in far too many hours at the office. And get this, I haven't been to the public library for years. Whatever I want, I just Google it. Something about all that doesn't seem right. I'm Jerry Stewart, and that was One Moment in America.
Spring cleaning? Downsizing? Turn your unused items into homes for heroes. Sarge's Veteran Support Thrift Store in Forks accepts donations of furniture, household goods, antiques, and collectibles, all to fund housing for veterans across the Olympic Peninsula. Call to donate today, 360-374-5252, or visit sargesveteransupport.org to learn more. Your generosity changes lives.
This afternoon on the Todd Ortloff Show, Peninsula College President Susie Ames joins us, plus Jonathan Pasternak with the Port Angeles Symphony on their new season and family concert. And don't miss our Bacon Bits with Amanda Bacon.
Join us at 1 o'clock Monday through Thursday for the Todd Ortloff Show on KONP. Information to keep you engaged in your community with the people and organizations who keep it running. Sponsored by Dan Shappy, Farmers Insurance.
The race for change, a diaper change, is on. September 1st kicks off the 2025 Great Diaper Drive, hosted by First Step Family Support Center. All month long, businesses across Clallam and Jefferson counties will be competing for the Golden Diaper Trophy, and KONP is in the race. That's right, you can drop off diapers, wipes, and baby essentials right here at KONP as we team up with the community to wipe out diaper need. Every donation goes directly to First Steps Diaper Bank, helping local families keep their little ones clean, dry, and healthy. Drop off your new diapers, wipes, and baby essentials to our studio at 721 East 1st Street in Port Angeles. With state funding cut in half this year, families need your help more than ever. So let's rally together, Peninsula. Support your neighbors, support KONP, and help us bring home that Golden Diaper Trophy. For all the details, visit firststepfamilysupport.org. The Great Diaper Drive, because no family should ever have to choose between dinner and diapers.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm John Scott. The Federal Reserve has cut its key interest rate. The rate was cut by a quarter point. More importantly, the Fed projected it would do so twice more this year as concern grows at the central bank about the health of the nation's labor market. The move is the Fed's first cut since December and lowered its short-term rate to about 4.1 from 4.3%. President Trump and the First Lady are the toast of Britain. Correspondent Danica Kirka reports the central event of the president's visit is the lavish state banquet that will be getting underway shortly at Windsor Castle with King Charles and hundreds of invitees.
The state banquet on Wednesday night promises to be an absolute unforgettable affair for the 160 people who are going to be lucky enough to sit around a huge mahogany table the size of half of an American football field to get a chance to see pomp and ceremony at its very best. There'll be tiaras, there'll be diamonds, there will be decorations.
And that pomp gives way to the real work on Thursday when President Trump and British Prime Minister Keir Starmer meet. On the battlefront, Israeli troops and tanks are pushing deeper into Gaza City. Correspondent Charles De Ledesma.
Hundreds of people carry their belongings on the crowded road in Wadi Gaza. Israeli troops and tanks are pushing deeper into Gaza City, marking the second day of a ground offensive. The move has faced international condemnation as Palestinians flee the devastated area. Israel's military reports over 150 air and artillery strikes on the city in recent days. The strikes have toppled high-rise towers, which Israel claims are used by Hamas for surveillance. I'm Charles De Ledesma.
More on these stories at townhall.com.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Mom, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotion. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. Consequently, they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Dial pound 250 and say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
An electronic vehicle maker is breaking ground on a new plant, even in a weaker marketplace.
Rivian believes its vehicles are superior, and company leaders are expressing confidence they'll succeed even without environmental and tax incentives. The California-based company has yet to turn a profit, and as of September 30th, electric vehicle buyers will no longer qualify for a $7,500 tax credit. Still, Rivian's going ahead with a groundbreaking for a $5 billion electric vehicle plant in Georgia, adding to its current production plant in Illinois. I'm Ben Thomas.
A newly launched supply ship has run into engine trouble that is preventing it from reaching the International Space Station. NASA says everything is on hold, while flight controllers consider an alternate plan. The capsule holds 11,000 pounds of cargo for the 7 space station residents. Breaking news at townhall.com. A former U.S. Naval Academy midshipman has been charged with making a threat across state lines related to a lockdown and shooting at the academy in Maryland. It happened last week. 23-year-old Jackson Fleming arrested on suspicion of sending an online threat through a social media application. A major recall at Costco.
The company is recalling bottles of store brand Prosecco because they could shatter without warning. Costco says the recall affects Kirkland's signature Prosecco Valdobayadine purchased between April 25th and August 26th. Bottles were sold in stores in Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, North Dakota, Nebraska, Ohio, South Dakota, and Wisconsin. Costco is sending letters to affected customers. Jason Walker reporting.
More on these stories at townhall.com. I'm John Scott.
This is the Newsradio KONP Noon Report.
Todd Orth live from the KONP News Center. Here's a look at what's happening on this Wednesday, September 17th. Well, we've got some more details on Monday's law enforcement activity near the corner of Columbia and Jones Streets in Port Angeles. Deputy Police Chief Jason Vieta with the latest.
On Monday, September 15th at about 8:30 a.m., investigators served a search warrant in the 1200 block of East Columbia Street in Port Angeles relating to a continued missing person investigation with the assistance of the Washington State Attorney General's Missing and Murdered Indigenous People Cold Case Unit and the Washington State Patrol Crime Lab. Investigators continued to pursue leads and conduct interviews relating to the disappearance of Marley Zimmerman. If anyone has information relating to Zimmerman's disappearance, please call the Port Angeles Police Department at 360-452-4545.
Now, as we reported back in January, the family of 27-year-old Marley Zimmerman of Port Angeles said she had been missing since January 20th. According to her sister Zoe, Marley left her home at about 2 a.m. that morning and was captured on the house's security cameras. She was wearing all black clothing and carrying a light green or tan backpack. Marley's phone had been turned off since her disappearance, which her sister said was very unlike her. Because it's an open investigation, police are not saying whether there has been a break in this case or if any new information was collected during this week's search. Vieta said investigators were on the scene at Columbia Street all day Monday and until about 2 p.m. yesterday. Well, the North Olympic Peninsula got its first real taste of wildfire smoke this season this week, and residents started noticing it really in a big way yesterday afternoon as heavy smoke drifted into the area and ash fell from the sky in some spots. Now, the haze not coming from any new local fires, but from shifting winds that carried smoke in from two major wildfires that are burning elsewhere on the peninsula. The Bear Gulch fire near Lake Cushman in Mason County, it's grown up to 10,000 acres and is 9% contained. And then further north, the Tunnel Creek fire is burning in remote terrain west of Quilcene in the Buckhorn Wilderness. Sparked by lightning, it has now charred close to 300 acres and is uncontained. The combination of those fires, along with the wind shift, has lowered air quality across Clallam County. Meteorologists say another change, though, in the wind direction is expected, and that could bring some relief soon. Looking ahead, forecasters also expect the Northwest rainy season to kick in next week. And on that, the Northwest could finally start seeing its wet season begin by midweek next week. Forecasters say there's a strong chance of above normal rainfall moving in beginning about the middle of next week. The latest outlook from the National Weather Service points to a 60% chance of wetter than usual conditions across much of the region, and the odds actually climbing to near 70% along the coast. Meteorologists say the pattern shift will help bring relief from the dry summer weather and improve that air quality and help with those wildfires. More news after this.
It's time for Your Port of PA Today. A look inside the port and share what's in it for you.
I'm Port Commissioner Connie Bove. The Port of Port Angeles is excited to bring you a look inside your port, the wide-ranging companies operating in our facilities, and share exciting upcoming projects designed to develop and upgrade infrastructure to attract even more business and jobs to our area. Did you know over 50 companies are on port property, totaling over 1,000 jobs? The Port of PA stretches well beyond the Port Angeles Harbor. The port owns and operates two airports, William R. Fairchild International and the CQ Airport, providing convenient and essential access to some of the more remote areas of the peninsula. We'll continue to bring you insights from the Port of PA on future segments. Email hello@portofpa.com or keep up to date on Facebook.
This has been Your Port of PA Today. Explore portofpa.com.
Hi, this is John Holm, president of Tri-State Roofing, your local and family-owned company. If you're interested in a metal roof, prices are going up across the country, but we receive volume discounts through the manufacturer, and we pass that savings on to you. Act now and call 360-208-2222. Financing is available.
Tri-State Roofing, we got you covered.
In other news, plans for what was once billed as the largest biochar cogeneration facility in North America appear to be on hold. In 2023, Mino Carbon Corporation announced its intent to build a large-scale carbon removal facility on Industrial Parkway in Port Angeles, that in partnership with Herman Brothers Logging. The facility was designed to convert timber slash and other byproducts into biochar, a carbon-rich soil additive, through a superheating process. At the time, Mino CEO Tor Kallestad projected completion and operation by early 2027. The company's plans relied heavily on a $20.5 million USDA grant that was awarded in October of 2024 through the Biden administration's Partnerships for Climate Smart Commodities program. But in April, the Trump administration canceled the entire $3 billion program, calling it wasteful and mismanaged. Well, last month, the federal judge issued a preliminary injunction ordering the USDA to reinstate grants for some farmers and community groups that had challenged the cancellation. The lawsuit filed by Earth Justice and some other advocacy organizations argued the agency lacked the legal authority to terminate the funding. It remains unclear whether Minot Carbon's grant and that Port Angeles facility that would go with it will be restored under this new ruling. Kellestad from Minot has not responded to our requests for comment. Mount St. Helens appeared to spring back to life yesterday, but officials confirmed the volcano is not erupting. Strong easterly winds stirred up ash from the 1980 eruption, creating a visible plume that raised concerns across Washington and northern Oregon. Webcams captured ash swirling around the crater, but the U.S. Geological Survey said the volcano remains at normal activity levels with no changes to alert status or any aviation warnings. Winds of up to 50 miles per hour combined with recent dry conditions lifted the decades-old ash. The area has received less than 25% of its average rainfall over the past month. Officials say the phenomenon occasionally occurs during dry, windy weather and is not linked to any new volcanic activity. Still, they warned that airborne ash does pose health and aviation risks. Well, this Saturday, hundreds of thousands of volunteers will be gathering to help clean up beaches all over the world, including here in Washington State, as part of International Coastal Cleanup. Isabel Charlet has more.
Since 1986, the cleanup has mobilized 18 million volunteers to gather more than 380 million pounds of trash from the world's beaches. Liz Scottman is with Surfrider Foundation, an organization that leads cleanups in Washington. She's the first to admit we're not going to clean our way out of the plastic pollution problem, but adds beach cleanups are a helpful step.
They remove harmful waste from the beach, so you're saving seals and seagulls and other marine animals that can get entangled or ingest it and get really sick from it. It also prevents all that plastic debris from breaking down into microplastics.
International Coastal Cleanup was founded by the Ocean Conservancy. To join a beach cleanup this Saturday or on other days, people can visit coastsavers.org. I'm Isabel Charlet.
This is Newsradio KONP.
Hello, this is Katie McCormick with Squim Valley and Harper Ridgeview Funeral Chapels. I'd like to take a moment to tell you about a new, exciting, and environmentally friendly development in the funeral industry. It's called natural organic reduction, or terramation. Perhaps you've heard of it. Terramation is a process in which the body, after death, is returned to the earth in a carbon-neutral, eco-friendly manner. The process takes place in a controlled environment, and all that remains is a natural, odorless, compost-like material. If you would like more information about terramation and advanced planning, call us today at Harper Ridgeview in Port Angeles or Squim Valley Chapel in Squim, and one of our knowledgeable and caring funeral professionals will assist you in answering your questions. Harper Ridgeview and Squim Valley Funeral Chapels, because your loved ones deserve the best.
In 1959, Mount Pleasant IGS opened their doors. The newest neighborhood gas and grocery quickly became the one-stop shop for many. Mount Pleasant IGS is still a favorite. Times may have changed, like 25-cent a gallon gas and 20-cent loaves of bread, but the same hometown country store feel is still there, and their customer service is still top priority. From snacks, drinks, and fresh produce to automotive needs, electrical supplies, and fishing bait, Mount Pleasant IGS is still your one-stop shop.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Daytime highs approaching 65 this afternoon under mainly clear skies. Winds out the west 10 to 15 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 50 tonight, partly cloudy skies. Daytime highs approaching 62 tomorrow. Ample sunshine expected. Daytime highs approaching 65 Friday under mainly clear skies. 62 Saturday, rain likely. Take a look at the extended forecast, 61 Sunday, 62 Monday, and 60 on Tuesday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, 66.
Robert Workman's take on sports is next.
Mariners catcher Cal Raleigh just keeps on going. He hit 2 more homers last night, number 55 and 56 in a 12-5 rout of the Royals. That's the most dingers ever by a switch hitter, passing Mickey Mantle, and it ties the Seattle record held by Ken Griffey Jr. Raleigh's teammate Dominic Canzone homered 3 times, in case anybody asks, and the M's have now won 10 games in a row. The Phillies were held hitless by Shohei Ohtani for 5 innings in L.A., Then after he left the mound, they scored 6 times in the 6th and went on to beat the Dodgers 9-6 on Rafael Marchand's 3-run blast in the 9th. Brewers bashed the Angels 9-2. Freddie Peralta fanned 10 and tied the Major League lead with his 17th victory. Blue Jays shaded the Rays 6-5 for their 6th straight win. Guardians got by the Tigers 7-5 in 10 innings for their 10th win in the last 11 games. Yankees built a 9-run lead, then held on for a 10-9 win over the Twins. Also in the AL wild card, the Astros edged the Rangers, while the Red Sox lost to the A's. National League wild card, the Cubs sank the Pirates. Mets scored 5 times in the first and topped the Padres, and the Diamondbacks rallied past the Giants. Arizona's still in the hunt. That's Wednesday Sports.
Medicare open enrollment is here. For a lot of people, it's still confusing. But don't worry, help is available with the Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit from the Office of the Insurance Commissioner and SHEBA. Find out what's changing and learn your Medicare options with 7 easy steps to get ready for open enrollment. Get your free Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit now at insurance.wa.gov or pick up a copy at your local library or senior center.
This afternoon on the Todd Ortloff Show, Peninsula College President Susie Ames joins us, plus Jonathan Pasternak with the Port Angeles Symphony on their new season and family concert. And don't miss our Bacon Bits with Amanda Bacon.
Join us at 1 o'clock Monday through Thursday for the Todd Ortloff Show on KONP. Information to keep you engaged in your community with the people and organizations who keep it running. Sponsored by Dan Shappy Farmers Insurance.
Your community-minded friends at First Fed bring you the Community Corner, highlighting good things happening right here in our area.
This Saturday, head to the Port Angeles Eagles for their big fundraising event. The Eagles are hosting a car and bike show with live music, raffles, food, drinks, and a silent auction. You can register your car or bike to be in the show, or just come by for the fun and help raise funds for the PA Eagles. Saturday, 1 to 4 p.m. at the Port Angeles Eagles Club, behind Grocery Outlet on East Myrtle Street in Port Angeles. And the Port Angeles Masonic Lodge has live music and dancing this Saturday night with the Buck Ellard Band. There'll be a barbecue plus indoor barrel racing and calf roping. Come dance into fall with the Buck Ellard Band, enjoy great food, and watch live rodeo indoors at the Port Angeles Masonic Lodge. This benefits the Captain Joseph House. It's from 5 to 10 p.m. at the Port Angeles Masonic Lodge on Lincoln Street.
Community Corner, presented by First Fed.
Newsradio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Federal Reserve officials are seeing downside risks to the labor market and opted today to lower interest rates by a 0.25 percentage point to address the trend. They also signaled they expect 2 more rate cuts before the end of the year. The Dow is up 0.5%, the S&P is up a fraction, the Nasdaq is down a fraction. We're looking at too many homes and not enough buyers. That's causing housing starts to fall to their lowest level since May. The government says new residential construction fell 8.5% last month, and building permits, which point to future construction, decreased 3.7% to a 5-year low. The backlash is building against home insurance companies. J.D. Power says 47% of people with homeowners insurance have seen their price go up in the past year. That's the highest rate in more than a decade. And many are opting to look at alternatives. 45% of high-value customers say they will not renew with their current insurer. I'm Nancy Lyons, Bloomberg Radio.
Let's get a check on the roads again next.
LS Tractor. Do more for less. More standard features, more capacity, and more operator comfort. LS Tractor gives you more. A comprehensive warranty and more PTO horsepower. Do more on your farm, ranch, or acreage. Mow it, grade it, till it, or move it. Stop by your local participating dealer and join the growing LS Tractor family today.
Find the perfect LS Tractor for you at Leitz Farm Supply in Sequim. Locally owned and operated. Call Leitz at 360-452-1400.
LS Tractor. Simply more.
Dr. Sam Skovgaard here, General Surgeon at Olympic Medical Center. If you've noticed a bulge beneath your skin, on your abdomen or groin, it could be a hernia. And if it's causing you pain, it's time to talk to your doctor. If your hernia requires surgery, your general surgery team at OMC is here to help. Talk to your primary care provider if you think you may need treatment for a hernia. Let's keep you healthy and hernia-free together. Learn more at olympicmedical.org/hernia.
Newsradio KONP, traffic and roads.
All right, let's scoot up to Clallam Transit Dispatch Center, and that's where Steve's standing by with an eye on the roads for us this noon hour. Good afternoon, Steve.
Hi there. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, I got kind of a busy afternoon going on. If you are trying to make your way around town, both Port Angeles and the Sequim area, a lot of traffic right now making its way through town. A little stop and go here and there, and some delays at the stoplight. So just be prepared for that as you make your way around both Port Angeles and the Sequim area. In fact, busy out there as well. If you're on the highway between Port Angeles and Sequim, things moving along pretty well out there. A little bit on the busy side, especially trying to make your way through the east end of Port Angeles through our construction zone, all the way out to the Morris Creek area. Pretty steady traffic out there right now. If you're headed beyond that, right now, Hood Canal Bridge good to go. No scheduled marine openings. State ferries also running on time today. If you're headed out to the west end, we're in pretty good shape all the way out to the Forks area. 101 is actually moving along just fine. Light to moderate traffic out there. Now, we do have our reroute here with 101 being closed at the top of the truck route. Everybody is using the truck route to get in and out of town, and it is definitely busy, especially down around the Marine Drive area, also along 8th Street. A lot of traffic there right now, so just kind of plan ahead. So everybody take care, be safe. This is Steve reporting live from Clown Transit for KONP.
All right, thank you, Steve. Now, pharmaceutical manufacturer Eli Lilly reporting positive results from clinical trials of an oral weight loss drug. The company says its GLP-1 daily weight loss pill cuts weight by up to 11% over time. ABC News medical correspondent Dr. Darian Sutton has the details.
This study from Eli Lilly found that those who used their oral GLP option called orforglipron had a sustained or associated significant weight loss of approximately 11% at the highest doses. This equates to about 15 pounds of weight loss, and the side effects were comparable to what we see in injectable medication options. Gastrointestinal symptoms, most common nausea, vomiting. There was no signal for liver toxicity, and in this study there was also no sign or signal for that severe but very rare risk of medullary thyroid cancer.
North Dakota food critic Marilyn Haggerty passed away Tuesday. She was 99. When she was in her 80s, Haggerty wrote a local review of a national restaurant chain, and that review went viral. It warmed the hearts of many, including the late Anthony Bourdain. ABC's Danny New has more on this story.
13 years ago, the food critic for the Grand Forks Herald made headlines across the country when she gave an earnest review of her local Olive Garden. And among her praise, she wrote the chicken Alfredo was, quote, warm and comforting on a cold day. At the time, after all this attention, she said this.
Somebody told me I went viral. I didn't know what that meant. I still don't quite know what to make of it, but I guess I should enjoy it.
She was writing for the Grand Forks Herald up until last year.
Happy birthday to Play-Doh, which was first introduced this week in 1955. Since then, more than 3 billion cans of Play-Doh have been created. It was inducted into the Toy Hall of Fame in 1998.
In San Antonio, Texas, someone is setting cell tower sites on fire. 22 so far and counting. The good news, even though the fires destroy the tower site and new equipment is costly, it's easy to replace. The small buildings at the tower's base are prefabricated and mostly pre-wired. But here's the thing. Soon all those millions of cell towers and antennas may no longer be necessary. I'm Kim Commando for NetSuite. Download the free CFO's Guide to Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning right now at netsuite.com/Kim. It took about 40 years to build out the nation's cell towers, but at this very moment, Starlink engineers are working to make these towers obsolete. Your mobile signal may soon come from one of Starlink's 8,000 satellites in low Earth orbit. Your phone's already using Starlink's emergency SOS when you're out of cell range. From space, you'll always be in range. I'll tell you, the big wireless companies never saw this coming. Get tech ahead with my free newsletter. Sign up at getkim.com. What does the future hold for business? Ask 9 experts and you'll get 10 answers. Rates rising or falling, inflation being up or down. Can someone please invent a crystal ball? Until then, over 42,000 businesses have future-proofed their business with NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud ERP, bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR into one fluid platform. With one unified business management suite, there's one source of truth, giving you the visibility and control you need to make quick decisions. With real-time insights and forecasting, you're peering into the future with actionable data. When you're closing the books in days, not weeks, you're spending less time looking backward and more time on what's next. And speaking of opportunity, you can now download the CFO's Guide to AI and Machine Learning at netsuite.com/Kim. The guide is free to you at netsuite.com/Kim, netsuite.com/Kim.
I'm John Tesh. Coming up, I'll share the latest research from UC San Diego on preventing heart disease. This can dramatically cut your risk no matter how old you are. It's next in today's Intelligence for Your Life Minute.
Your hair has more potential than you think. Nutrafol gives your body what you need to see thicker, fuller hair in 3 to 6 months because it's designed to get to why it's thinning in the first place. And the best part? The results have been measured in clinical studies on real people. Your hair deserves more. More strength, more growth, and more proof. Get hair growth you can trust at Nutrafol.com.
So there's a new upside to getting our household chores done. It could dramatically reduce our risk of heart disease because so-called daily life movements like gardening, cooking, vacuuming, washing dishes, even taking a shower can help protect you from the world's #1 killer. That's according to a new study from UC San Diego. Researchers spent 8 years tracking thousands of healthy women in their 60s who wore activity trackers. The result? Those who spent 4 hours a day moving were 62% less likely to die from coronary heart disease, 30% less likely to suffer a stroke. The experts say it proves that all movement counts toward disease prevention, not just traditional exercise, because just being up and about, it improves circulation. Bottom line, if you want to live a longer, healthier life, get about 4 hours of daily life movements every day of any kind. I'm John Tesh with today's Intelligence for Your Life Minute.
Whether you're a homeowner, investor, or first-time buyer, understanding our market is essential. Here to provide a little insight on the local real estate market is May Graves.
As always, thank you, Todd. This is your monthly market minute for July 2025. In Port Angeles, we sold 38 homes. Median days on market, just 13. Median home price, $438,000, which is down from the previous month. 10 of the 38 homes sold for full price or more, and 9 of the 38 homes sold to cash buyers. Here we go for Sequim. We sold 61 homes. Median days on market, 28, which is way up. Median home price, $560,000, which is down a bit from the previous month. 24 of the 61 homes sold for full price or more. 19 of the 61 homes sold to cash buyers. If you want more information, call me. It's May Graves, 360-461-1922.
From the Strait to the Sound, Newsradio KONP, Port Angeles Sequim, is celebrating 80 years serving our community. A Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The former head of the CDC, who was appointed by Trump and confirmed by the Senate, testified about her firing.
After less than a month on the job, Susan Benares says she was let go following a meeting with the HHS secretary.
He said that the childhood vaccine schedule would be changing starting in September, and I needed to be on board with it.
Benares says she told Robert F. Kennedy Jr. that she couldn't be unless the changes were supported by data and evidence. Earlier this month, Kennedy testified Benares told him she's not a trustworthy person. At today's hearing, the former CDC director was asked about what she fears if the forthcoming vaccine recommendations aren't based on science.
I believe preventable diseases will return.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
An HHS statement claiming that the fired CDC director's testimony contained factual inaccuracies and left out important details. President Trump and the First Lady at Windsor Castle. They'll attend a state dinner hosted by King Charles and Queen Camilla tonight. ABC's Karen Travers has more on the historic visit.
With this visit, the president becomes the first elected political leader in modern times to be hosted for 2 state visits by a British monarch, having already been hosted by the late Queen Elizabeth II in 2019.
An estimated 400,000 Palestinians have fled Gaza City. It comes as Israeli forces continue their push to occupy the city and defeat Hamas. The U.S. is backing the military operation. The Federal Reserve Board lowering interest rates today by a 1/4 point, the first cut this year.
This is an attempt to try to stimulate the economy. The Fed nodding to the fact that it has seen a weakening jobs market. Inflation is still above where the Fed wants it to be, but for now, the Fed signaling it's going to look, perhaps it sees inflation higher, but not going up a lot more, and it's willing to overlook that a little bit in order to bring rates down to try to provide some support for the jobs market.
ABC's Elizabeth Schulze. On Wall Street, stocks ending mixed. You're listening to ABC News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
There is growing controversy involving Publishers Clearinghouse after the company filed for bankruptcy in April.
One man who was promised $5,000 per week for life back in 2012, enough to retire on, telling KGW-TV in Oregon he no longer receives the money he relied on.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to lose my home.
Gaming platform ARB Interactive acquired the company out of bankruptcy this summer and established a new platform for sweepstakes opportunities. But ARB says it's not responsible for paying out prizes issued by Publishers Clearinghouse before July 15th.
ABC's Morgan Norwood prize winners may have to go through the bankruptcy process. Los Angeles police identifying the victim found in the trunk of a Tesla at a tow yard belonging to a popular singer.
Earlier this month, a decomposing body was found inside of an abandoned Tesla registered to singer David. His music has 33 million monthly listeners on Spotify. He's been out on a world tour performing as the LAPD has been investigating the body, which has now been identified as 15-year-old Celeste Rivas. A girl by the same name was reported missing from Riverside County in 2024. The Riverside County Sheriff says work is underway to confirm it's the same girl. Nobody has been arrested.
ABC's Alex Stone. Travelers arriving at San Francisco International Airport may be catching a ride to their next destination using driverless taxis. Waymo getting the green light to test its vehicles. Michelle Franzen, ABC.
Looking for affordable home ownership on the peninsula? Mountain View Homes has you covered. Enjoy high-quality craftsmanship at 40% less than traditional homes. You heard me, 40% less. We offer full-service land packages from dirt to turnkey, delivering beautiful, efficient manufactured homes on your chosen site. With 3 convenient locations, including Carlsberg, we're here to serve you. Visit mtviewhomes.com today to learn more. Mountain View Homes, where affordability meets quality.
Get your outside prepped for fall at Swain's General Store. A lawn and garden fiberglass fruit picker is on sale for only $29.87. Over 20 different items of Corona garden tools in stock are on sale right now with up to $25 savings on each. Be ready and grab your spring color flower bulbs, all 20% off, and Ace Hardware polyleaf rakes on sale only $9.87 to $15.87. There's no department left out during the Swain's Get Ready for Fall sale.
KONP News brought to you by RE/MAX Evergreen Real Estate Outstanding Agents. Outstanding results, 457-6600. North Olympic Peninsula getting its first major dose of wildfire smoke this week. Through yesterday afternoon into early today, haze and even falling ash reported as winds carried smoke from 2 large western Washington fires. The Bear Gulch fire near Lake Cushman has burned more than 10,000 acres. It's still just 9% contained. And the Tunnel Creek fire in the Buckhorn Wilderness near Quilcene has scorched about 300 acres. The combination has pushed air quality down, and these aren't new fires. They've been burning for some time that are contributing to the smoke in the area.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by Olympic Game Farm. Mainly clear this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 65. Westerly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Lows around 50 tonight, partly cloudy skies. High of 62 tomorrow. Mainly clear Friday with highs around 65. 62, rain likely Saturday. Take a look at the extended forecast. 61 Sunday, 62 Monday, and 60 on Tuesday. To recap, a high of 65 today, low of 50 tonight. We should top out at 62 tomorrow. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, 70.
It's the Todd Ortloff Show on Newsradio KONP. Now, here's Todd.
All right, welcome to the program. I'm going to spend the first part of the show today talking with Susie Ames. She is the president at Peninsula College, and we get her in about once a month. Give her a little time off in the summer sometimes, but she's back. As I said, it's for realsies now because faculty returned this past week at Peninsula College.
Monday.
Day
before yesterday.
And next week, the students come.
That's right.
Right. So, and that's what we're going to be talking about is enrollment a little bit today as well. So before we get to that, how is this now heading into this next year? I mean, this is old hat for you now.
Well, I'm starting my fourth year,
Yeah.
which is really hard to believe. But so far so good. Faculty came back Monday. Morale is super high. There's tons of smiles on campus, and employees just can't wait for the students to come next week.
All right. So let's get into that just a bit. It's no secret you've been doing very well enrollment-wise there, and you brought some stats to share with us a bit about kind of where things are and how you compare with other institutions around the state.
So I think you know me well enough to know I'm highly competitive when it comes to my profession. So the data that we just got a couple weeks ago compares Peninsula College to the 33 other community colleges in the state. And so this is our chance to look backwards on how did everyone do last school year. And so this is now the second year in a row that we experienced the most growth in the state.
So so it's not only that's saying something. I mean, it's not just that's not a one-off then.
It's like 2 years in a row now, right?
So it's a trend. Don't they
I'm
say that?
I'm calling it a trend.
Why is it? And maybe there's two parts to that, like a coin, two sides to it. Popularity here, and maybe other states, other institutions are not so.
Well, I'm happy to say all community colleges are up in enrollment. We've all set the new trajectory post-COVID. We're all recovering or recovered. And that's a really good sign for Washington State. PC just recovered more quickly. And we also had more recovery to do.
Right. You had more reserve to fill, right?
We did.
Yeah.
We did. Right. We had a precipitous 10-year decline, whereas other colleges didn't. So we had a deeper ditch to dig out of, and we did it really quickly.
Right. Now, let's get a few numbers. 125% that's
compared to last year.
Okay, that's the overall from year to year, then 125% increase.
Mm-hmm.
System total, all of the up 100, it was not 109% for the system, so you're significantly higher than all of them, but even as you mentioned, the community college system was up.
Yeah, which is just, like I said, just bodes really well. People are going back to college, and it's a good indicator that things are restored from COVID.
Right. You're very competitive. I'm just looking at numbers there. 2% over
Lower
Columbia. See, I knew that set you off. We got to make that margin wider. But they also had tremendous growth at LCC then.
Yeah, LCC in Longview had, at 123%. We were 125. So, yes, Todd, we're celebrating everybody. We're just slightly above the others.
I just had to say that. All right.
You got me.
Now, let's hit on another screen that you brought in. It has to do with online students, and you're way up in that one as well.
Again, same 2 years in a row. And this one is not even close. We're 160% over last year, and the other, the nearest one is Clover Park Technical College in Pierce County, and they're at 133%. So, I don't know where these students are coming from. I think it's a combination, but I think mostly it's just because we have a very rural community, and people are finding online classes that they can access while they're working, and it might also be a combination where they're taking a couple classes on campus and then supplementing it with
That's my next question. So you can count that as an online student even if they're taking is there a certain level? Yeah. Okay.
No,
so
you
they
can
have
be
to be all online to count.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
And you have made a concerted effort, I think, in some of your programming there to make more online options available.
And certainly hybrid for sure, because I think the days of a student come into campus 5 days a week for an hour-long class are just over, and people learned from the pandemic. One silver lining is a lot of people learned that you can learn a lot in an online environment, and it can be a nice way to supplement your package of classes. If you take a couple, I think the sweet spot is a couple on campus and maybe one or two online. So you're still getting some human interaction. You're still getting that campus feel. but then you're able to tick off a few more classes at the same time.
All right. Now, you didn't quite get one on this next category, but came in second.
Yeah.
And actually, you're pretty close. I mean, you're not that far off, but this has to do with all FTEs. Explain kind of how this metric was measured.
So the first one that we were on first in, that's state-funded FTEs. Those are what you think of when you think of a college student, the ones that are supplemented by state support. All FTEs is those students plus continuing education, our corrections education at Clallam Bay and OCC, and apprenticeship students.
Now, I'm looking at this graph that you gave me. Most of them in that top, with you, are all pretty close in number, except for Clover Park, which came in first. And is that a nature of perhaps what they program there?
Well, I'll tell you a funny story.
Okay.
So, we all watched each other's enrollment quarter by quarter. And the president of Clover Park Technical College came up to me a while back and said, "How are you guys doing this, watching our enrollment go up every quarter?" And I told her, I think what spurred the whole movement of PC recovering was the fact that we started 9 new instructional programs. And, we've talked about those many, many times. I think that's what spurred the buzz in the community for people to say, "Hey, go check out PC. Cool stuff's happening there." That's just the sentiment I hear across the community. So the Clover Park president went back to her college and she said, "Hey guys, if PC can do it, we can do it too."
And they did it.
So I'm super proud of them. And they're doing all the right things in their community too.
And they also, they draw from a denser population too, right?
Oh, yeah.
They've got a larger pool to fish in, as I like to say.
They are in the heart of Pierce County, in Lakewood. Absolutely. They're in very, very urban area.
Right. So that all FTE thing gets a lot of people that are, coming for a community continuing education class more often, perhaps, then you just have more chances to get them as well.
Definitely.
Now, this is something we'll probably add on to this next one. I want to talk about bachelor's programs, because this is a big thing. I'm kind of surprised because, PC has some bachelor's programs, but some are a little bit older, but I always think of them as not like, a long tradition of it yet.
No, for sure. And I can't remember where we were last year, but we were in the mix in the top 5 last year too. So this is a new movement for PC. So PC was first in the state to do an applied bachelor's degree. They were one of the first 4 pilots in 2005.
Right.
And we started the applied business management degree. And then we hadn't done one since
it stayed just at that for a long time.
For sure.
Right? Yeah.
And then when I came, the team and I created some enhancements to that management degree with tracks, concentrations, whatever you want to call it, where you can get your management degree, but you can specialize in human resources or IT or entrepreneurship and management or entrepreneurship and marketing or tribal management. And that has been really successful for people who just didn't want a traditional business degree. They wanted to go deep into a specialty. And then at the same time, we also started the bachelor's in behavioral health care. And then just next week starts our new bachelor's in teacher education.
Right. And we talked last time you were on that is a very popular program. Do you expect that's going to help with these numbers moving ahead then?
I do. It's going to be a small cohort to start because if you remember, we got accreditation in August, and then we're starting students in July. It was a very, very small window. So it'll be a small cohort, but we also know there are students at Peninsula College right now earning their prerequisites, so they'll be ready to get in next fall.
Okay. Do you see this as being maybe with this jumping the gun, we're going to talk about this a little bit more later, but more of a trend for 2-year schools to start offering these bachelor programs? Going back to kind of what you said before, especially in a rural area where, folks just can't get to the big city, so to speak, to do this.
Absolutely. So in a rural community, an applied bachelor's degree is a game changer because there is no other alternative. Mm-hmm. So you either take a 100% online bachelor's degree, which has its pluses and minuses, because you don't get that human interaction, or you leave the peninsula to get a bachelor's degree, which really shouldn't be an option for us. You shouldn't have to. And now you don't have to. You can get a whole array of bachelor's degrees right here at home, and they're all designed for working adults.
That was my next thing. Mm-hmm. It's a big difference between the 18-year-old kid that's willing to go someplace and do it and a 30-something that is looking for a new career, has found maybe what they really want to do.
Yeah.
And they can't just pack up and leave.
This is not about, moving to Pullman and moving into a dorm. That's not who we serve.
Right.
We're serving working adults who are trying to better themselves and better their careers.
Yeah. Although it makes for good comedy movies, the 35-year-old going to college is just not
story.
quite the same thing.
No.
At that level.
That's right.
Pullman story.
That's right.
Yeah,
We'll leave those to the comedies.
Transitional studies. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So this is high school completion. These are adults who didn't do well in high school, dropped out, and now they are ready for a second chance now that they're adults. And then also some English as a second language, although where we live, that's not a huge population. This has seen exponential enrollment over the years. In fact, I just crunched some numbers yesterday. Doubled enrollment over the last 3 years in serving this population.
Wow.
And this is one of our targeted enrollment strategies, is to get those folks who don't have a high school diploma, get them the diploma, and then get them right into college level classes.
Right.
And it's a absolutely strategic effort on our part, because that's a lot of folks who live here, and we want to give them an opportunity and a better
And that's
life.
a barrier, right? Because
It
there
is
may
a
be someone
huge
who would say,
barrier.
I'd love to get a college degree, but I'm like 2 credits shy of a diploma.
Yeah, or not, or you might have dropped out as a freshman or sophomore in high school,
Right.
and we're getting those folks into college.
And we've talked in the past, too, this isn't just traditional GED as we
Right.
know it anymore, right?
Right. The GED has limitations because it doesn't allow you full access to federal financial aid once you complete and now you're looking to get into college. It truly just gets you that high school credential. But our program's called High School Plus, and it's High School Plus because it gets you the diploma and it gets you into college level with full college credentials and ready for financial aid.
And that's a selling point, I would think, for a student who might be on the fence, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
The other thing we've done is we have a waiver now. So your last credits in transitional studies before you graduate with your high school diploma is 5 college credits. So we guide each student into a class that we're pretty sure they're going to be successful in, whether it's English, history, geology, you name it. And we know they're ready, and they typically don't have the self-confidence to think they're ready.
And now then they can come out and they say, hey, I passed a college level course, more or less.
And
I mean,
not more or less, 100%. They passed, and now they're on their way. They built their resiliency, they built their self-confidence, and now they're full on into college level.
Yeah. And that's a big deal, especially again with an older student. I mean, once you've been out of the whole school workaday world and you get into the real workaday world for a while, you go back, you go, I don't know if I can do this.
There's a lot of doubt, a lot of self-confidence building that our faculty help the students with, a lot of just how to navigate and balance life and school at the same time. A lot happens in that program that really helps shape people to be really productive students and employees.
So we should point out that's 7th in the state for you. So how many, I should have said at the beginning, how many community college and technical colleges are there?
34.
34. So you got to put this into perspective. We're talking about the top of the top.
Thank you, Todd.
In all of these, right? Just letting you
Yep,
feed your ego there a little bit, the competitiveness, right? All right, let's talk about Running Start. A lot of, people are familiar with Running Start. It's been around a long time. It's one of those, and I think you've said this on this show, it's not for every student.
Nope.
And there's some high school students that try it and realize they're not going to do very well at this, and they can suffer both ends of it. I mean, they can their college experience and their high school experience.
Yes.
So, but you're 8th in the state in Running Start, and I don't know, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but is this, I don't hear this promoted nearly like it used to be maybe 10, 15 years ago. This used to be almost every, I think, high school junior was just said, you should do Running Start. And maybe that's just, maybe it's individual or not, and that's totally anecdotal. That's just me.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that, but
yeah. So we try to work really closely with every individual student and family to help them make a meaningful decision on whether Running Start is right for them. When we have orientation night, when families come to learn about Running Start, I'm there, or one of my designees is there, and we have a script that I personally wrote. And it's a very stern warning that says you need to make a really serious decision on whether this is right for you. Because it's not right for everybody, and it is literally impossible to use an algorithm to determine who
Sure.
it is right for.
Right.
You could be failing in high school and soar in Running Start because you are
Kind of an independent, maybe.
independent, done with the high school social scene, just ready to be on your own. Or you could be a 4.0 high school student and fail Running Start because you missed the social scene. You really did need your faculty to your teacher to hold your hand, remind you to turn in every single assignment. So it's a very, very personal family decision. And then the other thing that we've put in place since I arrived is a really robust safety net. So we do a quarterly audit of every Running Start student's grades, and we try to figure out who's not doing well as early as we possibly can. And we'll try to get them tutoring and extra help. And if that doesn't work, we get them back to their high school as soon as possible.
Yeah, let's get them to where they're going to succeed again.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah,
it's a totally personal decision.
It's a wonderful financial tool. It's a great aid because you can kind of get to, your first couple years of college and at the same time. But sometimes the payoff may not be worth it.
Yeah, there's other downsides to Running Start too, because if you go full time, then you graduate high school the same time you graduate college, and then you go on to your university and you're a junior.
Right. And you're only 18.
You're 18. And if you don't know what your major is, you've already used up all your exploratory credit bearing time. Yeah. And so we see some students wanting that freshman experience again, but now they're a junior.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. But again, if you're a student who knows exactly what you want to major in and you're ready, then absolutely do Running Start, because then you're going to get your master's by the time you're 20 years old.
You're going to be kind of almost Doogie Howser in a way.
Right.
But you still came in 8th in year over year in that category as well, too. Yep. Although I'm looking at the numbers here, and pretty much, everybody stayed pretty within a certain range. So, okay. Now, this is the one I think you want to tell me about, is the look at us rebound stat that you gave here. And this is pretty good. You have a pretty big U-shaped turn here. And you alluded to this, that, when a decade or so ago, things were at a certain level and then really just continued to go down.
Yeah. 2011 was our peak. Yeah. And I don't know or think we'll be back to 2011 numbers, maybe, but that was the Great Recession. So that was when students across the country were flocking to community colleges because there were no jobs, and community college was a safe place to hang out, maybe retool, get skilled for a different type of career, because maybe the career you were in went away. Maybe it was in the banking industry. So that was an anomaly across the country. So the dip below that was pretty natural, but we then kept slipping in 27, 18, 19, and then COVID hit. And that just poured fuel on an already big problem.
And I would suspect you could take everybody's numbers in those years and get crazy low stuff.
Yeah. Everybody dipped in 21. But not everybody dipped in 17, 18, 19 like we did. So it was a really slippery slope.
So you've come along. You're going into the 4th year now. And, look at that. It's amazing. In those 4 years, it's gone up every year just about. Yeah. I'm going to just say what I think it is. And I think it's a concerted outreach effort. It's a lot of networking, if nothing else, that you and your team have done. I always say it's like so many people don't know about this great institution on the hill that's here,
right.
Because it's not been talked about.
Right. And one of the fun things for me to see, having not lived in a small town before, is just word of mouth. It's a real thing here, and we've been really able to benefit from it. So we start 9 programs, and then it seems like everybody knows about them now, and that doesn't happen in Seattle.
Yeah.
So it's been really fun for us to do our internal work to build the structure that is going to excite the community and serve the community, and then they're coming because the need they've been really desperate for this need. They've been desperate for more job training programs locally, more applied bachelor's degrees locally, more high school completion opportunities. This is exactly what our low-income population that needs the advantage of higher education has been needing for a long time, and we've been able to provide what they need.
Right. You had a word of caution earlier this year we talked about is that, we rolled out, 9 programs or something like that in 1 year.
Yes.
Not going to be able to sustain that much of a rollout every year.
No, we, no, for sure. But, starting a new teacher education program this year, we are very close to being ready to announce the dental hygiene program.
You just had in fact, as an update, right? And you just have the meeting, so to speak.
We had an on-site visit, and it went by accreditation evaluation. It went very, very, very well.
Good.
And the official blessing by the National Dental Board will come in February-ish.
Okay.
And then it'll be a big party, and we'll be ready to roll and enroll
And how long does it take to roll the program once you get accreditation?
We'll be ready to go in fall of 26.
So you can go pretty quickly.
Yeah, we're in a silent phase of a fundraising campaign right now because we're actually building a dental hygiene clinic.
Right.
With 8 chairs. It'll look just like your dental office, which is very, very expensive. And so we're currently building that lab and raising money to be able to get that off the ground.
Fingers really crossed that you're going to get that sooner rather than later to use it for real.
Yeah, exactly. And I think once we get we can go public with the official accreditation, which we're hoping happens in February, then we'll really be rocking and rolling.
Right. Well, that said, how do you see enrollment trending beyond this? We've talked about kind of where we are today, but looking ahead.
Fall quarter, which starts next week, right now I think we're going to be right where we were last fall. And so I'm expecting this year to be the same or maybe a little bit less than last year.
Okay.
Last year's enrollment trend was an anomaly. We went a 10% increase last fall, a 20% increase last winter, and a 30% increase last spring, which defies all logic.
And maybe not sustainable.
I don't think
ways,
so.
Right?
I don't think it's sustainable, and it defies logic because normally your biggest quarter is fall, and then it slides down winter and spring. And for us to double, go 10% increase every quarter, I just don't think we're going to see that again. So I would, if I come back next year and there's 2 green lines that are even with each other, 2025 and 2026 look even, or maybe 26 is a little bit lower, I'm going to consider that a huge success, and that's where our new normal is, and we've rebounded back to where we really should be.
And we've talked about it. There's growth is a great thing, but you get into the double-edged sword of that is like, okay, now I've got to get more faculty, I got to teach these students, and then you start getting into these cut points, so to speak.
For sure.
Right.
And, I had to cut 7% of our budget, $2.2 million last spring. And our student services staff are dying on the vine. They're enrolling and registering and advising so many students. And the lines out their door of their offices, and I can't hire any more of them because we also know more cuts are coming from the state and the feds. Right. So we're growing and cutting at the same time, which is really challenging.
All right. One quick thing, and I probably could spend a whole time on this. Retention is a very important part. We talk about all this growth, but how many students are sticking through, a certification or a degree? Yeah.
It's a really point of pride for me. We did not dip at all in our retention. So as I shared with the college community on Monday, it's one thing to enroll a whole bunch of students, and it's a whole nother to keep them here and help them reach their goals. So to basically double our enrollment over the last 2 years and see 0 dip in retention speaks really highly to the promise that we made to the community that you really can come to PC and experience the power of higher education. And we held firm to that promise, and it's just a real point of pride.
All right. You're doing great work up there,
Thank
as
you.
always. And it's always fun to have you in to talk about this because it's exciting. As an old alum that I am, it warms my heart.
We're doing you proud, man.
That BC is doing all right. So, all right. Thank you, Susie. It's good to see you.
You too.
Susie Ames is the president up at Peninsula College. We're going to take a break. Be back with more in a moment.
Hi, it's Alicia with Ridgeline Home Care Cooperative, where we're more than a workplace, we're a family. We're worker-owned, worker-ran, and worker-profited, and proud to be named Emerging Business of the Year by our community. If you're a caregiver looking for a place where you're valued, or a family seeking care you can trust, you belong with us. Join our team, or let us care for your loved one. Visit ridgeline.coop, that's ridgeline.coop, Ridgeline Home Care Cooperative, owned by caregivers, trusted by families.
Bathfitter is celebrating 42,000 installations in Western Washington by offering you monthly payments as low as $125 a month. Custom fit tub and shower solutions are installed in as little as 1 day,
And every installation is backed by a lifetime warranty. Choose Bathfitter Northwest because they work here, they live here, and they love making bathrooms better for their neighbors. Visit bathfitternw.com to schedule a free consultation. This offer won't last long.
You may have seen on the news gold and silver are at an all-time high. Ever wonder what your old jewelry and coin collections are worth? Come see me at American Rare Coin and Gold in Squim. We can all use a little extra money, right? Here at American Rare Coin, we love to buy gold and silver and provide you the best prices. American Rare Coin and Gold, 338 West Washington in Squim, or call 360-968-4943. 360-968-4943.
Growing your family is an exciting journey, and the labor and delivery team at Olympic Medical Center is here to walk it with you. Our team tailors your birthing experience with you, offering the choice and security you're looking for from the comfort of OMC's Birth Center. Learn more about OMC's team of obstetricians, nurse midwives, RNs, lactation consultants, and more at olympicmedical.org/Stork Squad.
I am automated. Receiving personalized service from a real person is more meaningful than ever. I'm Dan Shappy, and as a farmer's agent, I know a thing or two about how to help you select the insurance you want so you can
protect what matters most.
Call 360-681-0696 to learn more and chat with me, a real person and experienced farmer's agent, today.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Hi everyone, it's Leslie Robertson from the Port Angeles Chamber, and I want to tell you about a great opportunity to support our local area. Would you like to meet people from all over the world? Do you like the chance to brag about this beautiful place we live? The Port Angeles Visitor Center is looking for volunteers to help people seeking advice, information, and recommendations when they come to visit our delightful town. Visitor Center shifts are short, the schedule is easy, and very flexible. Whether you want a regular day or you'd like to fill in as needed, we will make it work for you. Knowledge about the area is a plus, but don't worry, we'll train you. It's a great chance to meet new people, make new friends, and get to know the great group of volunteers we already have working at the Visitor Center. You'll be glad you did. If you're interested, email info@portangeles.org or call the Visitor Center at 360-452-2363. Or you can find more information on our website, portangeles.org.
All right, my next guest is, jokingly said you're going to be sick of me because we're going to talk with the maestro, as I love to call him, and that's Jonathan Pasternak. He is the director and the artistic director and the conductor at the Port Angeles Symphony, and it's great to have him back again because it means the symphony season is just about ready to launch, and season 11 for you, right?
That's right.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, welcome back. Good
Thank
to see you.
Hi, Todd.
We were away for a bit because you had some travels and things you were doing during the summer, but
right.
Here we go. It's time to get back to reality, as they say.
Indeed, yeah.
So now next week we're going to maybe spend a little more time about the really fun concert, which is the family concert, always to kick off the season. But today we're going to focus just generally about what's coming up in the next year.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah, the 11th season, and it's jam-packed with good stuff. Mm-hmm. And I think there's something for everyone on our programs. I'm delighted that this season, we try to bring back somebody from local who's gone out and made it big in the arts. And this season we have 3. So we have James Garlick, our favorite violinist from this area, coming back. He's going to play the Samuel Barber Violin Concerto, which is just such a gorgeous, gorgeous piece. 3 movements. The first 2 are some of the most beautiful music ever written, and the third is one of the most nerve-wracking pieces I've ever rehearsed because it's so difficult for the orchestra. But James wanted to do it, and we love him, and it's a beautiful piece. So that's James. And Hunter Gordon is going to come and play a bassoon concerto by Rossini. Who knew that Rossini wrote a bassoon concerto?
Well, we do now.
We do now, and the thing is, you get to learn about all of these rarities when looking for concertos for bassoons, and other such rare solo instruments. And Hunter, of course, grew up here, and his parents and his grandparents are avid symphony buffs, and we had him. It was just a few years back, but that was with the chamber orchestra, and now he'll be on the big stage.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. And I have to say, I haven't seen the score yet because nobody knows this piece, and we have to get it through this one publisher in Germany. So anyway, the process has been very interesting and convoluted, and they asked me for our credit card number by email, so can I call you? So I spoke to Leipzig the other day. It was after midnight Port Angeles time. She sounded like she had just woken up. And anyway, so there you go.
Well, you're going like a real extra mile to get this one.
Absolutely, and the Gordons are worth it. And Tyler Benedict, our favorite local tuba player and fantastic conductor for the Sequim City Band, and our principal tuba player, too, in the orchestra, is coming to play a tuba concerto. So another rare solo instrument. You don't see
these much.
You do not. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have a tuba concerto, you have a bassoon concerto, you really have everything.
You should have called this the season of rarities.
It's true.
But you do have some other things that are not quite so rare either.
That's
right. That's fun, though, to have three locals doing their thing.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And we have some soloists who are new to town. One is Miranda Liu, who is of Taiwanese descent, I think. She grew up in Philadelphia. It's a very interesting story. And then she was a prodigy on the violin and decided to go to Hungary and study at the Franz Liszt Academy in Budapest. She's now a Hungarian citizen.
Oh, that's interesting.
She is making her life and career in Hungary, dual citizen with the U.S. It's so interesting. I met her at a festival in Europe, and she's coming to play another rarity, Todd.
Okay.
And this is, now, how many of you know that Mendelssohn wrote 2 concertos for violin? We have the ever-popular one, the E minor, and this is a D minor concerto. And some people even wonder if Mendelssohn wrote it himself. But he did. You look at the music, it's very Mendelssohn. It's youthful, but most of his music was, and he died rather young, so it's probably all youthful. But anyway, it's a really interesting piece. Okay. And Miranda will come and do that.
All right. That's not it. Hit a couple more. What else we got lined up?
We have, well, at the end of our symphony season, we're going to have a blowout Puccini opera. This is Italian verismo, and verismo just means in your face with emotion and romance and everything. And this is the very, very famous opera Tosca. And we're going to do it in concert version. May or may not have costumes. I mean, they will come clothed, of course, but there'll be some acting on stage. But we concentrate on the music, and the melodies alone are
You've
gorgeous.
You've caught the opera bug.
Yeah,
you kind of have now done this every year now. I think you promised you were going to try to do this though at one point, didn't you?
You're right, and okay, you got me, and I think I did say something like every other year. It's almost every other year.
Okay, well,
but
almost.
We'll see. This is an experiment.
Well, this will be fun, yeah.
Yeah, and it was in 2018 where I combined, it was sort of my first opera experiment here, and I combined a one-act verismo, Cavalleria Rusticana, with a famous piano concerto, because I thought, at least you get the piano concerto if you don't like the opera.
Right.
But people loved it. They raved about it, and I'm so happy. So I hope we get that same response for Tosca.
Well, you will. It's Tosca. I mean, anybody, even a novice opera, has heard of this. So
absolutely. and we're so lucky that the lead tenor from La Boheme last summer, Aaron Brooks, who is one of the great young tenors around, is going to come back and be the lead tenor in this.
There you go. That'll be fun.
Yeah,
That'll be fun. All
very
right.
much.
So what else you got up your sleeve? Anything?
Well, we have, Gregorio Nieto, the great cellist, is now a local favorite and has been here, I think, twice now, if not 3 times. And he's going to come back and do a Saint-Saëns concerto, very famous concerto. He just recorded it, by the way, with the London Symphony. And he'll do that in December as part of our holiday concert. And Alexander Tutanov is coming to play Tchaikovsky Concerto, which is one of the most famous and beloved works in the repertoire. I say that a lot because we like to program those things that people like.
And you've said this in the past, is you try to make sure there's some things in every concert that are familiar.
That's right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Some people go, oh, wait, but you kind of are the opposite take on this.
Well, yeah, but also, with that, I like to program things that I'm pretty sure will be new to our audiences, but things that will appeal to a wide audience. That's very important to me. Like you, we're true believers about music, and build it, and they'll come. Yep. Well, if we build the program and we present the art that we love and feel so deeply about, in that way that'll touch anybody's heart. I think even if you have absolutely no background in music, classical music, whatever, you come and you will want to come again and again and again.
Yeah. And we have a gem of an orchestra here. And I've said this in the past, it's an honor to have the symphony that we have. And it's crazy. And I look up there and I know half of them because they're my neighbors.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's my honor to be here and to work with them. And your neighbors, your teachers, your doctors, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we'll have probably, I think, 80 musicians for this next one, which we'll talk about next week.
And next weekend, that's always fun because it's the kickoff, it's the family concert and all of that jazz as well. Tough year to program for you or not? I always like to ask you this, is good, because you got to plan this out. Sometimes, you're months out in front of this.
That's right. It's at least a year in advance, and we're just actually completing programming for next season. And no, I mean, I love to program it. I mean, Todd, you love to think of the songs that you want to do,
right.
and the arrangements you want to do.
And how's this going to play?
Right. It's actually fun. And so no, I don't think it's difficult.
So suffice to say, I can say you like the artistic director part of your job.
I like it. Yeah. I like it. Yeah. I mean, you could accuse me of wanting to just have control, but it's part of the conducting thing in that I need, at least for me, I need to select music that I believe in order to bring it to the audience in a convincing and in a special way, in an inspiring way. So it is good to
you pull it off.
Pause
all
then.
right. Yeah. All right, so get your tickets now. Head to the Symphony's website. You can get a season's worth if you want at that point, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thanks for mentioning that. We do have season passes available, and pretty great discounts, actually, about 30 to 35% off the individual ticket prices. And you could call us at 360-457-5579, and we will help you get the pass of your dreams.
The pass of your dreams. I love it. Jonathan, this has been so much fun. We're going to do it next week.
Thank you, Tom.
Again.
Looking forward to it.
All right, Jonathan Pasternak, he's the conductor and the artistic director at the Port Angeles Symphony. And, they're getting ready to roll into their next season, the 25-26 season. We'll talk again with him next week a little more specifically about concert number 1. But we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with more on this show right after this.
I understand that as our world becomes more automated, receiving personalized service from a real person is more meaningful than ever. I'm Dan Shappy, and as a farmer's agent, I know a thing or two about how to help you select the insurance you want so you can
protect what matters most.
Call 360-681-0696 to learn more and chat with me, a real person and experienced farmer's agent, today.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Hello, I'm a disabled veteran, and thanks to Sarge's veteran support, I live at Minsky Place in Sequim. Are you spring cleaning or downsizing? Turn your unused items into homes for heroes. Sarge's Veteran Supports Thrift Store in Forks accepts donations of furniture, household goods, antiques, and collectibles, all to fund housing for veterans across the Olympic Peninsula. Visit sargesveteransupport.org to learn more. Your generosity will change lives.
Hi, this is John Hull. I'm president of Tri-State Roofing, your local and family-owned company covering the entire Olympic Peninsula area. The difference with Tri-State Roofing is we separate ourselves with the quality of products we offer, customer service, including an A-plus rating with the BBB, solid safety plans, and the best labor guarantees around. Call 360-208-2222.
Tri-State Roofing, we got you covered.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on Newsradio KONP.
It's time for Your Port of PA Today. A look inside the port and share what's in it for you.
I'm Port Commissioner Connie Bove. The Port of Port Angeles is excited to bring you a look inside your port, the wide-ranging companies operating in our facilities, and share exciting upcoming projects designed to develop and upgrade infrastructure to attract even more business and jobs to our area. Did you know over 50 companies are on port property, totaling over 1,000 jobs? The Port of PA stretches well beyond the Port Angeles Harbor. The port owns and operates 2 airports, William R. Fairchild International and the CQ Airport, providing convenient and essential access to some of the more remote areas of the peninsula. We'll continue to bring you insights from the Port of PA on future segments. Email hello@portofpa.com or keep up to date on Facebook.
This has been Your Port of PA Today. Explore portofpa.com.
End-of-life decisions are hard. Be it pre-planning or sudden loss, you need to have an advocate in your corner, which is why I wholeheartedly recommend Drennan and Ford Funeral Home and Crematory in Port Angeles, the only locally owned funeral home and crematory in Clallam County. Their expertise ensures a smooth process so you can focus on healing and being with your loved ones. Their help through the darkest time in my life will forever stay with me. Call 360-457-1210.
Welcome back to the program. It is time for our weekly Bacon Bit, when our own Amanda Bacon sits down with some famous folks about what they're doing in the world. And today it's Gary Myers, who's author of Brady versus Belichick, the Dynasty Debate. Perfect as we kick off this new NFL football season on today's Bacon Bit.
Gary, good morning.
Hi, Amanda. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Great.
Good. I love football. I'm excited to be chatting about it. I am planning on staging my room afterwards, though, since we're talking about the Patriots and Seahawks country, but it's all good. So tell me why you decided to write this book now about Brady and Belichick.
Well, I think now that we're a couple of years removed from either one of them being in New England and 5 years removed from, or even 6 years removed from when they were together, I look at this as the greatest debate, the greatest unanswered question in NFL history is how do you divide the credit for a 20-year dynasty that had 9 Super Bowl appearances, 6 Super Bowl championships, including one over the Seahawks that the Seahawks just handed to him on a silver platter.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I bet you do. So I thought this was a great idea for a book and to really kind of take a deep dive into, who was responsible for a two-decade dynasty that'll never happen again.
Where do you even start to unpack the information from such a deep and packed in period of time?
Not easy, because there was so many different layers to this and so many different twists and turns and, who was responsible for this period of time. Did it transition from Belichick to Brady, and when did that happen? What games were the coaching decisions that key to the success? What games was it really just Brady dominated? I mean, I obviously did a lot of research. I talked to 1 million people and kind of let the people who were involved in it dictate the narrative of where the book went. And it was really, I work in New York. I live in New York. I was working for the Daily News at the time, most of the years of the Brady-Belichick dynasty. I covered a lot of Patriot games, all but the last of their Super Bowls. So I already had a lot of institutional knowledge on the subject, but taking it a step further and really unpacking all the stuff that went into the dynasty was really fascinating.
When you were a kid, was baseball or football important in your life, and which one was more important to you?
That's an interesting question. I love baseball. I still love baseball. But I was a fan of both sports. I mean, covering football now, once I start doing that, I'm not a fan anymore of any team, right? Yeah. I've always been a Mets fan. So I'm a Mets fan to this day. Since day one in 1962, I've been a Mets fan. But I'm interested. Why are you asking that question?
Because as a child, did you think that you were going to grow up and have access to some of the greatest legends of our time, to get to sit and chat with them, their families, their teammates, people who have watched this unfold, and get to have that access and be interviewed about your knowledge of a sport that you grew up loving?
As a matter of fact, when I was 5 years old in kindergarten, I think I told my teacher that I was going to interview famous No, I wasn't thinking that. I tell you what, people ask me all the time. I love these questions because they're a little different. People ask me all the time, how I got into doing this. And once I realized I was not going to play shortstop for the Mets, and I probably realized that at about 9 years old. It was very depressing to me knowing I wasn't going to get to be out on the field. But 11th grade in high school, I had a choice of taking English Lit, which nothing was less appealing to me than an English Lit class, or a journalism class. And we had a school newspaper that came out once a month. And if you took the journalism class, you got to put out that paper once during that semester. And I thought, that sounds like a lot of fun, writing about sports. And so I did that. I took that class. I got such a charge out of seeing my name in print and people reading it. I go, this is a great way to combine the fact that I love sports, and I developed a writing skill, I guess, and this is the way to combine it. And from 11th grade on, I knew that's what I wanted to do. And I went to Syracuse, which has a great journalism school, and I've been doing this professionally since 1976.
You said you developed a writing skill. I think that there is probably some developing that you got, and you honed your craft, but this is a gift that you have, being able to take these stories and put them to paper. That's why it's so incredible to talk to people like you who have lived this, seen the passion, and have the passion for it, and then put it into story form for us, because it would be quite boring if you didn't have that natural talent. You were just like, and now this is where a period goes.
Yeah. Well, the fun part for me has always been the interviewing and the researching.
Yeah.
I love doing that. I love to find out stories that I didn't know and then try to think, okay, how am I going to tell that story? The writing part, when I started writing this book, I was going, God, I just wish I can fast forward in my head and somebody hand me the finished version. I'd love to see what I churned out here, because I can't imagine that I'm going to be able to write 100,000 words and 300 pages when I had nothing on the computer. The writing part is a grind. You have to be so disciplined because you have a deadline and you have to write. You don't have to write every day, but you can't go through a week without writing at least 3/4 of a chapter, because then you run out of time. So that part is always the hard part for me. Once I get an idea in my head and it starts to flow, it's really fun crafting it and putting it together. But that's really the hard. I think any author would tell you that. That's the hard part.
So what time of day do you get the most flow coming from your brain?
I am not like a night person. I would get up. I'd start writing like 8:30 in the morning, and I can go till about 6. And then I decided it's just diminishing returns at that point.
Yeah.
Because I'll write stuff and I'll just have to rewrite it because it isn't very good. Because you get tired. You're staring at the screen. I always gain about 15 pounds writing a book because I take my kitchen breaks. Yeah, I mean, there'd be some times I'd go till about 9 o'clock if I really was inspired. But I have a lot of friends that write at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I couldn't do that. When I was in college, I could never pull over, all-nighters and study. I just reached a point where it's just, I got to shut it down.
Gary, what do you hope people gain from reading this incredible biography, basically? Just this incredible, documentary, I should say, about two insane people.
Yeah. Well, I think I hope that they gain great insight into why these guys were able to work together and what made each of them great, what motivated each of them, and how they interacted with people and interacted with each other. And it's more than just going out on Sundays and playing great. A lot goes into it. And I think people get that when they read the book.
Gary, you are a delight. I really hope that we get to chat again someday about another sports book, and it'd be great to chat with you.
Well, I enjoyed our conversation, Amanda. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, Gary. You take care of yourself, okay?
Yeah, you too.
Go Hawks.
You can catch this Bacon Bit and all of our Bacon Bits on our Radio Rewind section at our website. Go to myclallamcounty.com and click on the tab at the top of the page.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on Newsradio KONP.
Building a future, sharing a dream, working together, we're on the same team.
At Straight View Credit Union, we know that buying a home is a big decision, and that's why we're committed to offering local decisions made by local decision makers. Our mortgage team is comprised of experienced professionals who are intimately familiar with the Clallam County housing market, ensuring that you get the personalized attention and expertise you deserve. We're here to help you navigate the home buying process and make the best decisions for your unique financial situation. Plus, as a member-owned cooperative, we prioritize the needs of our members and our local community over profits. That's why we're proud to offer great mortgage rates that help support our members' dreams of homeownership. Straight View Credit Union, your trusted local financial partner. Visit us online at svcu.com or stop by our branch on Lincoln Street in PA. Insured by NCUA Equal Housing Lender.
The Rock, Gem, and Jewelry Show is this weekend. There will be vendors offering a dazzling array of rock, gems, fossils, crystals, beads, finished jewelry, and lapidary supplies. A rock alley for the kids includes games, a treasure hunt, geode cutting, and rock painting and decorating. Fast Burrito will be offering food, plus there's a $1 raffle with over 40 great prizes. Come see us at the show this Saturday from 9 till 5 and Sunday from 10 till 4 at Vern Burton in Port Angeles. Admission is free.
Hi, this is Mike from American Rare Coin and Gold in Sequim. Do you have a house project needs doing but lacking the funds? Now is a great time to sell gold, silver, or rare coins. Prices are at an all-time high. We love to buy coin collections, gold and silver jewelry and bullion. We even help with entire estates. You could be sitting on a literal gold mine. Come see me, Mike, at American Rare Coin and Gold in Sequim. Call 360-968-4943.
Since 1945, News Radio KONP has been your source for news and community. We are News Radio KONP Port Angeles Sequim.
From ABC News, I'm Lindsay Davis, anchor of Prime, streaming weeknights on ABC News Live. 1 week after the fatal shooting of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, authorities in Utah are revealing more details about the surrender of suspect Tyler Robinson.
Washington County Sheriff Nate Brooksby now describing how Tyler Robinson's surrender went down. They made a deal with him for it to be calm, with deputies in plain clothes taking him into custody delicately.
He was fearful of a SWAT team hit on his house, or he was fearful of being shot by law enforcement.
Brooksby says rumors had that Robinson's father was a retired deputy are not correct, and that another man by the same name has been getting threats, but that Robinson's father was not a former deputy. Alex Stone, ABC News.
The former head of the CDC, Susan Menarez, testified about her firing by Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Menarez, who was appointed by President Trump, says she was ousted just weeks on the job for refusing to rubber stamp vaccine recommendations.
I was fired for holding the line on scientific integrity, but that line does not disappear with me. It now runs through every parent deciding whether to vaccinate a child, every physician counseling a patient, and every American who demands accountability.
HHS officials say Menarez's testimony contained factual inaccuracies and left out important details. President Trump and the First Lady are at Windsor Castle for a state dinner. The president is the first elected political leader in modern times to be hosted for 2 state visits by the British monarch. King Charles noted the historic visit.
This unique and important occasion reflects the enduring bond between our 2 great nations.
The so-called soft diplomacy ushers in trade talks tomorrow between President Trump and the UK's Prime Minister. The Federal Reserve Board voted to cut interest rates by 1/4 point. It's the first rate cut this year. The Fed chair noted a balance shift in economic risks with persistent inflation and a slowdown in the job market. You're listening to ABC News.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
I'm Lindsay Davis. For the latest on today's headlines, be sure to watch Prime tonight, starting at 7 Eastern on ABC News Live. Now with more news, here's Michelle Franzen.
Israeli forces continuing a ground operation targeting Hamas in Gaza City. An estimated 400,000 Palestinians have fled. ABC's Tom Sufi Burridge has more.